Hey everyone, it's Al with Longoria House Dog Training. Today I'm going to be talking about the Mini Educator. Many of you guys have asked us to go over this. What this is going to be, this video is going to be about teaching the particular buttons on there, what all comes on the box, and some of the different settings that you can go through. So we're going to go over this. This is the Mini Educator, the ET-300ts from E-Collar Technologies. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and get started with what's in the box, and we'll break it down and give you all the information that you're looking for on this particular collar. So first thing, as you open up the box, what you're going to find inside of there is you're going to find your remote, you're going to find your receiver, you're also going to find some documentation, okay? Here is your instruction manual that you're going to get with the Mini Educator. In here, you're also going to see the power cable that you're going to use to charge both your receiver and your transmitter and your receiver. You have this right here, a little lanyard to be able to hang the transmitter from your neck. And then in here, you have a variety of things as well to go through. You have a tool for removing the tips on the remote collar, and then you also have a testing tool to make sure that the receiver is actually receiving signal from the transmitter. And those are all the things that are in the box. Oh, forgot one more little baggie. This little particular baggie right here has the tips for if your dog has a longer coat, you will use these tips. There are smaller tips that are already on the remote collar that you will use for your short hair dogs. These little tips right here are going to be for your longer coated dogs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over each one of these. I kind of quickly went over that to kind of give you an overview of what's inside the box. But what I'd like to do is to break down each individual thing for you so that way you become more familiar with it and you know what's all in there. So first off, I'm going to start off with the receiver. So the receiver, as you can see here, has a very nice long, collar strap that you can use for practically any size dog. What you do with the smaller dogs that don't have the neck that's about this size is once you put it on, you will take your scissors and you will cut that to length. These straps are pretty comfortable for the dogs, fairly easy to clean. I particularly like these. What you will see on here is on the very back of this, you're going to see the port where you'll actually open it up, and that's actually where you charge the receiver. Here you also see the tips, for that are going to make contact with your dog. These are the shorter tips that are on there. And E-Collar Technologies has a variety of tips that you can use, but these are the shorter tips, and they are made out of nickel. On the collar as well, you're going to see that there is the light bar that's right there. That's going to tell you if it's receiving signal, and it also emits an LED light when you press the button to let you know where your dog is if it's outside. And then you'll also see the red dot right there. That red dot is actually how you turn the receiver on, and there is a corresponding red dot on your transmitter. So I'll show you really quickly how to turn it on and go from there. So we'll grab the transmitter for a second, and we'll go over this in just a moment as I break down the transmitter. But there's the little red button on the transmitter, and so all you do is you're going to touch those two things together. So I'm going to try to get it here on the camera for you and touch them together. When I touch it, you see that the light turns green on there, indicating that it is now on. If I want to turn it off, I'm going to take the two red dots, I'm going to touch them again together, and then you see that it turns red. I'll turn it off again, and let's see, turn it off and turn it on. Hopefully you guys are getting that here on this second screen. So they're going to touch them together, turn it off, touch it together, turns it on. Okay, so on here, we'll go ahead and go over what some of the different lights look like as you're on this particular collar. You're going to notice, that as I use different buttons, it's going to do different things. So as I turn my collar on, if I notice that the light, actually let me turn it back on. Okay, the unit is now on, and that's going to be indicated by the pulsing green light that you see right now. So anytime that I go and I use the transmitter to send a signal, you will see that the light on the transmitter will turn red. There's a variety of ways to actually communicate using the remote collar, but just suffice it to say on this particular unit, when you press a button, the LED light right there, or the red indicator light, will actually turn on. So that's one of the functions of the receiver. The other thing the receiver does is it has a light mode where you're going to see a blinking LED light flashing from there. It can be pretty bright. You can either have it in this intermittent mode, or you can also have it in this steady mode where it is particularly bright and you can see your dog outside. Okay, we'll turn that off. So these are waterproof. They are shock resistant. Very, very good unit. Really like the Mini Educator receiver. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go over the transmitter and the variety of buttons that are actually on there that you can use. Okay, so the first, I'm just going to give you a quick overview on it. The front screen, that's your LED screen that's going to tell you the information about the collar. There are different numbers and letters that are on there. At the very top of the screen, you're going to see that there is a 1D. Try to get nice and close for you guys to see that. I'm going to go ahead and tap a button real quick to get the light to turn on, and you may notice that there is a 1D on the top of that. The other things that you see on there is you're also going to see the stimulation number. This particular collar has 100 different levels of stimulation that you can use. The next thing you're going to see is there is an M and a C on there. The M and C actually stand for momentary and continuous. Those are a couple of the different modes that you can use to communicate to the dog. Momentary being a short pulse, continuous being up to a 10-second pulse. Okay, okay, so we've gone over 1D, we've gone over the numbers that are on the screen. You have 100 different levels, and then you have momentary and continuous. Let's start going over the different buttons that are on there. Before I do that, I want to show you that each time that you press a button on there, you're going to notice that that light there actually begins to flash red. That just says that it's sending a signal to the receiver. Okay, so let's go over the individual buttons. So here you see two buttons. There's two S buttons. There's a black S button and a red S button. Both of those S's stand for stimulation, okay? And they can be programmed to do a variety of things. In the mode that we use, one button is for normal stimulation and the other one is for boosted stimulation, which tends to be a little bit higher level. Okay, next up on the collar is the rheostat. The rheostat is actually what allows you to adjust the number or the level of stimulation on the collar as you rotate the dial. Okay, and we're going to go over on how to lock the collar and how to unlock the collar too to keep it safe for your dog. Okay, next you're going to see the antenna. The antenna right here basically allows you to communicate with the receiver. It has a half-mile range, so pretty good remote collar for your everyday use. And then the next thing that you'll notice is you're going to notice the T button there. That T button is for tapping, and that actually causes the receiver to vibrate. And here you're going to see I'm going to go ahead and tap the red button, or tap the T button, and there goes the receiver actually vibrating. Okay, so again, we've gone over some of these different buttons. You're going to see here as I press the different buttons that the light on the transmitter turns on and the red light on the receiver turn on at the same time. Okay, all right, we've got a couple more buttons on here that we need to go over. On the very back, you're going to see this larger button here. That is the on, off, and light button. So the on and off light button actually will turn on and off the transmitter. Won't turn off the receiver, will turn off the transmitter. But what it will do is that when you tap it, okay, like I showed you earlier, if you tap it once, it's going to turn on that LED into a flashing mode. And then if you tap it again, it's going to put the LED into a solid mode. Tap it one more time, and it turns it off. If you hold it it will actually turn the unit off. So there, the unit is off, and then if I hold it again, then the unit will come back on. That powers on. That on-off light button that you see here in the back, okay, is what turns off, on and off this the transmitter. You also have back here the smaller button out of the two, which is your mode control button. There are 3 different modes. You can have mixed mode, which has momentary and continuous. You can have momentary mode, and you can have continuous mode. Now, most people that I know, and the way that we train is we train using continuous mode. When you go into momentary or continuous mode, one of the things that you're going to notice on the collar face is that it's going to actually, let's see if we can get it to press here. Okay, button seems to be a little stiff, but we'll work past that real fast. Okay, so having a little issue with the, oh, there we go, now we got it, okay. So now we've got it in momentary mode. You should just see an M on the screen. If I press the button again, now there is a C button on there for just continuous. So you can have mixed mode, you can have momentary and continuous, and you can have continuous mode. You can have continuous mode on there. Okay, so next what we want to take a look at is how the buttons function whenever they are in continuous mode. So if you take a look at the black S button that's here. So when the black S button is depressed, and if I have the remote collar, let's say, set to a 6, okay, when I press that button, okay, a 6 is going to come out, okay. However, if I press the red button now, if I'm going to press that red button right there, then you're going to notice that on the dial, on the face, the button actually went higher, and it went from a 6 to an 11. Now, depending on how you're using your collar, you can change the boost level from anywhere from +1 to +60. So the black button here again is going to send out whatever is on the collar face, and the boost button pre-programmed is going to come at 5, but it could add anywhere from +1 to +60 of what's on the collar face. Okay, now on the back as well, you're also going to notice this little handy port right here. This port, okay, is what allows you to actually charge your receiver, okay? It's very important to maintain the waterproofing, that you keep this closed, okay, to not allow any water to get inside of the unit. This unit, as you just noticed, it is waterproof if that gasket is closed, and it also will float on top of water just in case you're in those going to the beach or going out with your dog on the lake or something like that. So again, just a quick one more button, or one more little thing, point of interest, is the red dot. That's a magnet, and again, that is what allows you to turn on and off the receiver. Okay, so the red button allows you to turn on and off the receiver. The on, off, and light button is actually what allows you to turn on and off the transmitter. Okay, so let's see if I've missed anything on the particular on this collar. Oh, so I do want to go over how to lock your collar really quickly. If you're looking at it as we turn the rheostat from left to right, you're going to see that the numbers are going to increase, and they can increase all the way up to from 1 all the way up to 100. Okay, and you'll see here I've got it at 99. Got 99 right there, and now I'm going to go ahead and turn it up one more notch, and there it's at high. I don't recommend ever using your collar at high. There's very few circumstances, if any, if you should use it at that. However, it is a part of what the collar can do if it becomes necessary for you to do that. So now we'll go ahead and go down real quick, and you can see now the collar is at 0. What you will notice is that the 1D is flashing on there. So this is a 1-dog unit. It can be expanded to 2, and we're going to go over that in another video, how to expand this to a 2-dog unit. But as a 1-dog unit, you see the 1D is flashing. So any information that's sent from the collar will go to the 1-dog the 1-dog receiver. However, I don't necessarily need to be in situations where that number is going to change. So let's just say that your dog's working level happens to be a 7. So if the dog's working number is a 7 and you want to make sure that you consistently use a 7, what you will do is you will press and hold the top button, And when you do that, you're going to notice that your 1D goes solid. I'm going to do that again. Let me back up a little bit there so you can get in view. I'm going to hold the button down, and then now the 1D should be flashing. Let's take a look. Yep, it's flashing. That means that I can turn the dial and the number is going to change. But now I'm going to set it back to 7. And so now when I press the two buttons together, hold it, okay? Now the 1D should be locked, okay? And if I try to change the dial any, it's not going to allow me to change the numbers. Well, guys, that's all I have right now for the Educator ET-300ts. I hope this has been beneficial for you guys. Really fantastic unit. They retail for $199. I really enjoy using the collars. It makes it a lot easier to train some specific things with your dogs. But I hope this has been helpful for you to understand some of the different features and functions on the collar. Okay, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon.